Alright guys, welcome back for part 2 of the odd log end table. What I'm fixing to do, I've got just enough of this rope left to go ahead and trim out that area right there. And then I'll burn it. And then what I'm going to do while I'm waiting on things to dry and waiting on that centerpiece to come in, I'm going to go ahead and clear coat the base and leg. It's funny, I had posted some pictures of this on my Facebook page, and I had somebody say that it reminded him of the leg from what she called the worst Christmas show ever. I take it she doesn't like A Christmas Story. So if that's the case, I guess this table is going to be a major reward. So I guess her husband getting one of those lamps is out of the question. They're good people though. I've known the husband for a long time. Used to work with him at Par Automotive. Anyhow, I'm going to get back to work, and I'll bring you back when I get a little bit done. I think you all know how to run hot glue and put a little piece of rope around there, so I'll spare you the agony. Be back. Alright, I'm just about ready to finish that. I went inside the house and to get my pocket knife to cut that excess rope off, and lo and behold, as soon as I passed through the doorway, forgot what I went in the house for. Seems like doorways are like portals that erase your memory as you get older, when you go inside the house to go and get something. That's what I've discovered anyway. I hope that doesn't mean there's going to be bad things to come. That would be bad. That would stink. I'm not too terribly interested in losing my memory these days, but, you know, sometimes it is what it is. Alright, so I'm going to round the corner here, and then let that set up a moment. And then what I'm going to do basically is just take my pocket knife and cut that thing. And I'll tell you what, I barely had enough left over. I got both top and bottom done. And may have to go and sharpen this poor old knife. Gets used quite a bit. Yeah, I managed to pull my rope away from the project. I didn't want to do that. So what I'll do now is burn my fingers by putting some more glue down in there, and like I said, I'm going to end up burning my fingers. Hold that there a minute, push that down, and kind of mash it into that rope. And of course that's going to be under the table, so it won't be seen, but I am still going to take the blowtorch to that and clean up the fuzzies. Alright, I'm going to continue to clean that up, and I'll bring you back. Didn't think I was going to show you that, did you? Ah! That happens sometimes when you put too much of an angle on it. I'm trying to stay out of my table leg, but that ain't... you dirty dog. Really? Alright, that'll be enough. I'm sitting there trying to work it with one hand, and I'm not doing real well with it. It's alright. Anyway, that's the gist of it. I'll go back to work now. Well, I thought I'd stop real quick and let you guys take a look at this. I mean, that spar varnish really brings out that wood. And I think that's just an old charred, if I'm not mistaken, that's just a charred piece of driftwood that I found. But it was still had enough properties to make a nice base. That's how it ended up where it's at right now. But man, wow, that looks really nice. It looks like it's soaking it in, so it may take, it's going to take a little bit more, but we'll get there. Just a fast update. I made the first lap around the outside edge of my tabletop. I'm probably going to have to make, I would imagine 3 more passes. 2 more to cover the edge, and then 1 more to make a lip to go around the outside perimeter of this thing to contain the epoxy. So, back to work. Alright folks, I'm starting lap number 3. I've got 2 rows now done on this edge. And I got a little bit of a gap, but I know how to fix that. So, I got this one and 1 more. And then I'll put a coat of with the spar varnish on there just to seal up the grain and stuff, and because these tend to let air out whenever you put the 2-part epoxy down, and boy, sometimes it's a mess. Anyway, back to work. Okay, this is the 4th and what I think may be the final pass. It's going to bring that rope up over the top there like so, and then I'll have to put some of that blue frog tape or something like that all the way around this edge when I go to pour. But there it is. 1 more pass, like I said. I think I just have enough to finish it, which would be awesome because I really don't want to go anywhere. Anyhow, when I get this finished, I'll bring you back and let you see it. And I'm going to have to hit it with a blowtorch to burn all the fuzzies off of it. So anyway, be right back. Alright everyone, I have all the rope trim finished. Now I'm fixing to take the blowtorch and burn all the fuzzy off of it. And then I'll put a coat of, like I've said before, I'm repeating myself again, I know, that I'll get this coated, and this will be ready, and then we just hurry up and wait, and we'll get that deer skull. And I think it's gonna be cool. Anyhow, now we're gonna get back to work, and I'll bring you back when I get that portion of the deal done, and give you an update. Okay, here's the clear coat that I put on it. It's just going to act as a primer to kind of seal the grain and stuff. Looks like I got a dark stripe down the middle of it. And I'll attempt to fix that. When this dries, I'll sand it and put another coat of this clear on it. And then the ball's in a buddy of mine's court. As soon as I get that deer skull here, then I'll begin to have fun with the two-part epoxy. I just need to make sure that my surface is level, or I'm going to have a really weird looking top. Been there, done that. Alright, that's going to bring to close for now until the scroll work is done, and I'll bring you back when I start this up again. Alright, this is kind of a sneak peek. I'm not sure about that, putting that antler down there, but that's what this is going to end up looking like. Neato. And I've got got in touch with my buddy up in Wisconsin. He's already got the deer skull cut out, and yeah, he sent me a picture of it, so I'll also put it on here as part of the progress. But that scroll work is going to sit down inside here. I'm probably sounding like a broken record these days, and then I'm going to fill this all in with the epoxy and seal it down. But anyway, this is where we're at. And like I said, the tabletop is not attached. I'm thinking about going ahead and putting a coat of Varathane, or this, spar urethane on the bottom of it. And then I need to I'm going to buy another quart of the two-part epoxy mixture. Just want to make sure I got enough. And that tape to put around this outside edge to make sure that everything is sealed in. And try to keep all my epoxy in the project and not on the ground. All right. The deer head's not due in until probably Friday. And then when I get that, I'll put it in there and we'll see what that looks like. All right. See you in a bit. Well, happy Resurrection Day, folks. We came back home yesterday from the lake just to avoid the foul weather. And when I got home, my package had arrived from Wisconsin, from Knotheads. And I've got this scroll saw work that Jim had taken from a photograph I emailed him from the deer I shot last year. And yeah, he told me what the dimensions were, and I gave the okay. And I don't know if I need to add to the background. Maybe I ordered a burn stencil from Lumberjack Tools, where I could burn some deer track, in it. And I can do that, or like on my European mount plaques, I could carve out a spot and put a couple of spent cartridge shells into the tabletop, and then of course cover it with the epoxy. I still got to get the tape to put around the sides of it because I don't want it leaking out and causing a nasty mess. But yeah, the game plan is to glue this down so that it isn't sticking up. And then putting the two-part epoxy down. But that's where we're at the moment. I thought I'd just bring you back and let you have a look at the scroll saw work that Jim had done for me. I think it's pretty cool. I've got another one that still has the pattern on top of it, or if I wanted to get a wood burner out, I could do more detail using the little wood burning wand or whatever you want to call that. I just don't think it gets hot enough to do the job. It's kind of tough to get that centered when it's not in itself a symmetrical table. Anyway, like I said, I thought about maybe putting a couple of spent 30-06 shells, maybe like so. Maybe a deer print here. My wife, she had suggested just leave it just like that. Kind of a less is more thing, and she's probably right. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking anyway. I'd probably just listen to her and glue that down and then get the epoxy poured. All right, well, I'm going to piddle around with it some more, and I'll bring you back once I get some more progress made. See you shortly. Okay, here's kind of an idea I had. Maybe here's the spent cartridges that I could. I'll have to carve a couple of grooves into the top for those to fit, and a little bit with these arrowheads. Just kind of thinking out loud about how this is going to go. And then when that deer track comes in, maybe put a deer track here. And that's done with a torch. You just set the stainless steel stencil down, and then you burn the pattern out. I don't know. I don't want too much, but enough to really catch the eye. Anyway, we'll see. All right, I took one of them old crack brushes and brushed out some glue on the bottom of that skull cutout. It had a cup shape, kind of like this. So I put the glue to the cupped side so that it would flatten out, and the entire skull would make contact with the board. So if I'm not mistaken, it's in reverse now of the original skull that was photographed for this project. I kind of put it on social media, other people's thoughts, and so far I had a couple that thought the deer tracks would look good. One person thought the arrowheads would look good. Nobody was in on the 30-06 cartridges, and my wife suggested just leaving the deer skull and that's it because of the how pretty the grain is on the cedar itself. The deer skull is actually in the middle of the white cedar pretty much, so I think that may be what we do. When the glue dries, then I'll need to go and get some tape and stuff, and that's a low spot, I think. Hopefully that won't be an issue, but I'm going to fill this entire center up to about the top of the rope like I said before, with epoxy. Oh, about to trip over myself. Anyway, that's where it's at now. That's the stopping point for tonight. And then once I get the epoxy poured and it's dried, then I will attach it to the table base. All right, that's where we're at. I'll bring you back when the rope is taped off and we start pouring. All right, guys, excuse me. All this weather changing's kind of it's pulled me down a little bit. Anyhow, this is round one, the first pour of the two-part epoxy, and kind of waiting on it now to settle down, and every now and then I gotta pop a few bubbles. So you just kind of gotta keep your eye on it and watch the cord. And some people use a torch. For some reason my blowtorch doesn't want to work real well tilted upside down. So there's some air bubbles working their way out of the epoxy, or not the epoxy, but the antlers. Anyway, that's what we're doing. So when this sets up and I'll have to go get some more. I only had a little bit left. So anyway, I'll be back shortly. Well, good morning. I had to take some sandpaper and kind of go over the little bubbles that were sticking up. I'm hoping that it doesn't show up real bad, and I got some rough edge here that I need to kind of smooth down a little bit with the sandpaper. And it's just miscellaneous little things that popped up, leftover bubbles. But as soon as I get that smoothed down a little bit better, I'm gonna pour what I think will be the last bit of epoxy that I'll need for the table. And then when it sets up and dries, I'll be able to put it together. All right, I'm gonna get to work, and I'll bring you back when I get the pour going. All right, this is the beauty of pouring the second coat. You don't have all the air bubbles to fuss with, and it hides the impurities and such from the original pour. Looks like I've got a swirl or something in it, but it'll clear out, or at least come pretty close. I may need one more, maybe. Of course, that edge right there is kind of close. My rope is holding the epoxy in place. This will be ready to mess around with tomorrow. I'll try to keep my fingers out of it. But we just about got that covered. I think I need to go ahead and pour the last portion of my stuff. When that sets up, you're only supposed to pour about 1/8 of an inch at a time, and I learned that lesson the hard way on the original headboard that I was building for the bed. But there it is. I'm sure I've got dust settling down on it and stuff. I don't have the cleanest environment at the moment to be doing this, but it'll be all right. Anyway, that's where we're at now. I'll bring you back when I get ready to do the if I need one. I'll bring you back for that final pour. All right, the third and final pouring. It's sitting up, and I got something that looks like a piece of fuzz got in there. It's just the disadvantages of having it in the garage. But the rope has done its job and has contained the epoxy. It got real close there, but the deer head is completely submerged, which was what I was wanting. And yeah, that's nice. I'm not about to put a finger on it just yet, but I'm finding little floaties and stuff. There's a way that this can be worked out, but man, I don't know. I don't know that I would even mess with it. Those might be, thinking there might be some air bubbles. Of course, it just depends on the angle you're looking. No, that's debris, but it's all right. I mean, once it's in the man cave or wherever it ends up, it'll be fine. I just know not to do that in the garage again, especially when I go to build the second nightstand for our bed. And I've already got this drilled. Got 2, 4, 6 holes. That's a 2.5 inch screw. And what I'm going to do is I'll put some glue on this, set it down on the bottom of the tabletop. Maybe put some small pilot holes just to get the deck screws started, and then I'm going to use a screwdriver and hand tighten them because I don't want to take a chance of torquing them all the way through my tabletop. That would not be cool. Anywho, that's where we're at. That last part of the build, I'll bring you back and I'll set the tripod up, and we'll film the last stage of this ball game. Anyhow, I'll be back in a little bit, probably within the next day or two. All right, happy Saturday afternoon. I can touch this now without putting fingerprints and stuff in it. It's about time for me to attach part A to part B. I've already got it drilled, and I need to I think I'll probably take it in the house and put some towels on the floor and set this on top of the towels and kind of give myself some padding. That way of course this may not, oh, that rope is hard as a rock. Okay, probably, yeah, make sure I'm not, yeah, there's some fingerprints on it, but I think that'll be normal. All right, I think that's what I'll do. I'll move this into the house and put it face down and put it together, bring you back. Give me just a few minutes. All right, here's the moment of truth. I hope that that stuff is set up enough that it doesn't leave an impression of the towel in my top coat. It should be. What I want to do first is put a little glue around this, and I want it to give it a little extra. A little extra hold power. I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing. I may be off camera. It's alright though. Be right back. I need a paper towel. Now what I want to do next is smear that glue around a little bit. Like I said, all I'm doing is doing this for is just to give it something a little extra besides just the screws. Sometimes a screw will pull out, and that's not good. All right. Okay, here comes the fun part. I'm going to turn this upside down and set it down on top of that and make myself think it's going in the right spot. The top is not very heavy. It's this base. And that base it's kind of looking over because I'm not looking at it from right side up, so I don't know. Yeah, I think it'll be all right. Yeah, I think that'll be all right. Now I want to use my drill to get it started, and then I'm going to use my screwdriver to tighten it in, because the last thing I want to do is cause these screws to bust through the cedar that's in the tabletop itself and come out into my table, where you can see the screws sticking through the epoxy. I'm a little nervous because these are 2.5 inch screws. It looked like they were going to work. So, fix and find out. I'll either be happy or crying. Make sure I don't have that stuff in the way. Just kind of snug that. Snug. That's all I want. I don't want them countersunk or any of that business, 'cause that could be a bad deal. Snug that one. Yep. And snug this one. All right. Now here comes the moment of truth. Oh Lord. You know, there's a little bit. There's a little bit of indentation. I'm hoping that'll wipe out. I think I messed up my tabletop. This thing wasn't ready. Of course, I can fix that too. I was a little early. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I had a feeling it might have happened. But the towel has left an impression. I'm going to get some Windex here in a little bit and see if I can wipe that out. I think it'll wipe out. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, I was able to wipe a lot of that out between using the Windex and rubbing alcohol. But in doing so, I've discovered some other little pits and impurities that I should be able to fix by just making a smaller amount, using a foam brush and spreading it out. And that should take care of the rest of the little divots and stuff that showed up in it. And that was probably my mistake for using the garage to build this in and pouring it in the pouring the epoxy in the garage. I shouldn't have done that. I should have done that in the man cave. But I've got little pieces of debris and stuff. You can see that right there. That is a hair that got in there that I didn't catch. And I'm hoping I can cover it up. But anyway, that's for another day. We're going to call it good for now. Call it done. My little deer antler or deer skull. Probably just a little game table. We'll play cards on it or something, or just put it in the man cave. Put a rabbit fur back here. Maybe put a lamp on it or something. There's no telling what we'll do, but there it is. Not too shabby. Alright, I'm going to bring this video to a close till the next project or trip or whatever we decide to do. You guys have a super weekend, and I will catch you on the next video. If you like what you've seen, give it a thumbs up, share the video, and I invite you to subscribe to the channel. If you like stuff like this, you can watch me learn how to do videos. Anyway, you guys have a great weekend again, and I will catch you on the next video. See you, bye.